Hello, and welcome back to the Heart of Care podcast. Whether you are commuting to your next shift or taking a well-deserved break in the tea room, this episode is for you. The phrase legislative reform usually sounds like a great excuse for a nap, but if you are a registered nurse in Australia right now, the New Aged Care Act is the most exciting thing to happen to your resume in decades. We are witnessing the biggest shake-up since 1997, and it is turning the traditional nursing hierarchy on its head. Today, we are breaking down how this legislation is creating a gold rush for clinical governance careers, and how you can make the jump. Let's look at the legislative flip. What was once a system focused strictly on task-based care, medication rounds, wound dressings, and risk minimisation is being replaced. We are moving to a model that puts the residents' human rights at the legal centre. This transition to the New Aged Care Act represents a fundamental pivot in how we define quality. It's no longer enough to simply keep someone safe. Facilities must now support their right to thrive. This brings us to the dignity of risk mandate. Under the strengthened aged care quality standards, supporting resident autonomy is a legal requirement. You are no longer just a risk manager. You are the architect of a culture that balances safety with a resident's right to live a full life. Because the Aged Care Quality and Safety Commission now has more teeth, providers are desperate for clinicians who can translate these complex laws into bedside excellence. So, where does this leave your career? If you have been looking for a way to step back from the heavy lifting of bedside care without losing your clinical edge, clinical governance is your destination. While a traditional RN focuses on immediate clinical outcomes, a clinical governance lead looks at the systemic health of the entire facility. This means mastering Standard 5, clinical safety. It means overseeing infection control, antimicrobial stewardship, and open disclosure policies. The Act introduces stricter definitions of the responsible person, creating a massive need for senior nurses who can sit at the leadership table and bridge the gap between the boardroom and the ward. Then, there are the numbers. The Australian government's mandate of 215 total care minutes per resident per day, including the strict 44-minute registered nurse requirement, changed everything. These mandates aren't just about staffing numbers. They represent structural job security. But you can't just do 44 minutes of care. Someone has to document, audit, and optimise it, because a facility's funding is now intricately tied to these care minutes. RNs and clinical care managers are the literal keys to financial and regulatory survival. You have more bargaining power now than ever before. So, how do you actually make the jump into governance? You might think you need a master's degree, but in 2026, practical expertise is the ultimate currency. Start by upskilling in the standards. Become the subject matter expert in your current unit. Be the person everyone asks when a compliance question pops up. Volunteer for the audit committee. The industry is starving for practical knowledge, so targeted short courses in clinical governance or auditing often carry immediate weight. When you can prove that your systemic oversight reduces falls or medication errors, you become indispensable. The New Aged Care Act isn't just a pile of new regulations to stress you out. It is a ladder. We are moving away from being helpers and toward being the governors of care. The future of the sector belongs to those who see compliance as a strategic power move, ready to lead the future of Australian healthcare. Join Randstad Health and Aged Care's exclusive online nursing community today to connect with clinical leaders and stay ahead of the latest legislative shifts. Just click the link in the episode description. And before you go, make sure you follow the podcast and hit the bell icon so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.